a prayer for time. It.
Services is today, right?
Yes, services are today.
Take that microphone. I can speak. When the microphone is making noise, the connection is tricky, friends. Can you hear me? Guys. Is the microphone working now?
Sounds like it.
Is it?
God says, face facts. The old year is ending. You've outgrown it. The flower pot that used to be home isn't big enough anymore. Once it was spacious. Now your roots push uncomfortably against the walls. It's time to stop contorting yourself to fit inside a story that's too small for you, for who you can become. God whacks the bottom of your pot, sends you flying. Once you're pried from the old year, your roots will ache, shocked by open air. You'll wonder whether you could have stopped growing. But one morning you will wake, realize that you've stretched in ways that you never knew, ways that you hadn't done before. The sun will feel like a benediction, like grace. You can't help turning and returning toward the light, toward becoming. And wait till you'll see what dazzling flowers you'll discover springing from your fingertips. Your life renewed, beginning again.
Shana Tova, everyone.
Shana Tova.
Bruchim Abayim, Shir Hadash. Welcome to Shir Hadash. What a joy is to welcome this year in community. We welcome this year with an ingratitude for all those that work very, very hard for us to make it to this moment. Our captain is sitting there, Joy Spodik, and our president is sitting there. Our wonderful choir is sitting behind us, and our clergy team, and our sound people, and Ian. So many people work hard in order for us to celebrate this moment in community. I also have special greetings from Rabbi Aaron, who asked me to extend to the entire community her wish for a wonderful year, for a sweet year, for all of us. And with this sense of community, with this sense of togetherness, is that we welcome the new year. Ine matov umana'im shevet achim gam yachad. We are on page 6 in our Machzorim.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת כולם גם יחד. כולם גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת כולם גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת כולם גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת כולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת כולם גם יחד.
We would like to invite Naomi Parker and Gail Long to lead us in lighting the candles of Yom Tov. We're on page 11.
And the moon is dark tonight. In the wide expanse of heaven, north to south, not a ray of light. Light a bright candle in my heart's shadow tent, and through the wide expanse of heaven, the light will shine. Where there is sadness, let us offer love. Where there is fear, let us reach for hope. On this eve of the new year, may we bring light to one another.
The first mitzvah in the Torah is, let there be light. So we are commanded, in everything you do, be a menorah, a bringer of light. Live with honor. Act with integrity. Do your work with passion, and the radiance of your deeds will live after you. May our ideals burn bright, forever unextinguished, and may we live our lives like the flames we kindle, always stretching upward, striving for the good, reaching for you.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel yom tov. Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, teaching us holiness through sacred obligations, giving us the mitzvah of bringing light on this festival. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehekianu, V'kimanu, V'higianu, Lazman Hazeh. Source of blessing, eternal God, you fill the universe with majestic might, giving us life, upholding the life within us, and bringing us to this time.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel yom tov. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel yom tov. Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel yom tov.
שהחיינו וקימנו, והגיענו לזמן הזה. We celebrate this moment that we have reached together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
The days of awe are the celebration of human opportunity. The word Shana, year, carries in its root the word Shaneh, change. And so, we are reminded that we have the ability to learn, to expand, to grow. We are reminded that excessive certainty is a spiritual blindness, and that checking on our souls is an act of humility that allows us to live our lives more fully. We enter this sanctuary with our good and bad choices. We got to check them. That's part of the work that we are here to do. We enter this sanctuary with our experiences and what we have learned, we enter this sanctuary hoping to be touched, hoping to be moved. We enter this year praying to find the strength to get closer to our souls and to the vision of who we want to be. And last but not least, we enter this sanctuary saying, Hineni, here I am. We will now turn our Sidurim to page 17. I would like to invite you to please rise as we open the ark.
הנני העני ממעש, נרעש ונפחד מפחד, יושב תהילות ישראל, בעל תפילו לעמוד ולכנן לפניך על עמך ישראל אשר שלחוני, אף על פי שאני חטאי והגון לך.
God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah. Adonai, Adonai, merciful, gracious God, who inspires awe, I pray to you for success on my path. I pray for myself and my community. Do not hold them responsible for my wrongs and offenses. May my deeds cause them no shame, and may their deeds cause me no shame. I said my prayer as though it were offered by one more worthy of this task, a scholar proficient in prayer, unblemished in character, pleasing in voice. Let love be our banner, let it banish our wrongs. May Israel's strife and misfortunes be turned into joy, renewed life, and peace. Love, peace, and truth, may they prevail among us, and may they be no impediment to my prayer.
Adonai, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, great, mighty, awe-inspiring God Most High, who said to Moses, I will be what I will be. May it be your will that my prayer reach your presence for the sake of the righteousness and blameless, the honest and pure of heart, for the sake of your glory. You hear your people's prayer with compassion. Blessed are you, the one who hears prayer.
Baruch Ata Adonai, Shomea Tefillah. We turn our Sidurim to page 20 for Baruch. You may be seated. In the middle of page 22, ומביא יום, ומהביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני.
ברוך הוא ברוך שמו.
אמרי ורבים. As we get closer to the Shema, we try to think of sources of love in our lives, in our world. Abat Olam, on page 24, for Birkat Ahava, the blessing of love.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu, ובחומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם בלילה, נגי יומם בלילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל.
On page 26 for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Page 28. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Bottom of page 29. Adonai said to Moses, "Speak to the people of Israel and tell them to make for themselves tzitzit, fringes on the corner of their clothing, throughout their generations, and let them place upon the corner fringe a thread of violet blue. The fringes will be yours to see and remember all of the mitzvot, the sacred obligations of Adonai. Do them, and do not be misled by the lustful urges of your heart and your eyes.
Page 30. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אמת באמונה כל זאת, וקיים עלינו כי אדוני אלוהינו אין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. You have stayed long enough in this place. God said, time to go forward. Turn your face to the future. Believe that you can cross this sea and survive. We are on page 34 for Mi Chamocha, the blessing for redemption.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורת תהילות אוסף אלם.
מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה מרים. זה לי אנו ואמרנו
אדוני ימנו לעולם ועד.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך הוא וברוך שמו.
גאל ישראל.
Return our Machzorim now to page 36. Ashkeveinu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. We ask to become a shelter of peace, the same shelter of peace that we ask from God. We ask to become ourselves. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Aleinu sukat, sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat, sukat shlomecha. Lo יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. ופרוס עלינו סוכת, סוכת שלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס Sukkot Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Amo Israel ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, Guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over the holy city, the city of Shalom, Yerushalayim. Amen. Before we say Chetzi Kaddish and we turn toward Tfilat Amidah, we will say the words Tiku B'Chodesh Shofar in Rosh Hashanah. Before reciting the Amidah, we remind ourselves that it's Rosh Hashanah, that we are supposed to be thinking special thoughts during this time of the year. So I want to invite you, as you hear the words of and the beautiful melody of Tiku B'Chodesh Shofar, and then we will say Chetzi Kaddish, and then we will go to the Amidah. In that moment, we start preparing for the Amidah. The Amidah is an invitation to think with a bit more precision about what we want, what we need in our lives. It's a reminder that focus is actually an important trait. So during this time of the year, we want to focus on year-long thoughts. We are on page 12.
We're 15. Page 15.
תקראו בחודש שופר בכסף ליום חגנו. תקראו בחודש שופר לכסף
Page 40, Chetzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. ויעמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה מזמן קריב ויאמרו יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה לעילא ולעילא מן כל מלאכתה ושירתה.
Please rise for Tfilat Amidah on page 42.
Adonai Satai Tivta Adonai Satai Tivta Adonai. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחלל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, תומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו בלי שני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך. מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אל הרחמים, זוכה יצוריו, לחיים ברחמים. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
We continue with the silent reading of Tfilat Amidah on page 49. Let us and the whole family of Israel be remembered and inscribed in the book of life. We're on the middle of page 66.
בספר חיים לפניך.
אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום ולשלום. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום. Blessed are you, Adonai, maker of peace. At this point, we will take a moment to acknowledge people that are dealing with illness. We add, in special occasions, one more prayer to our Tfilat Amidah. We think of those that are dealing with illness in their bodies, in their souls. We think of those carrying grief. We think of those dealing with addictions. We'll be introducing a new,
Relatively
you
new.
had done in the past, a new Mishe Berach. And in order for us to be able to sing it together, Kanto will teach us the line that we can all of us repeat together, and she will guide us through Mishe Berach.
Just give me a C, please.
Elna refanala, 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 elna refanala.
Richard Kennemer, Jack Long, Don Gringorton, Bruce Roberts, Stuart Matz, Mira Engel, Howard Levine, Alfreda Massman, Jill Becker, Gail Frankel, Gary Bronstein, Melanie Weil, Ed Stein, Rosalie and John Price, Lonnie Goldman, Richard Ravitch, former member of Shir Hadash, Lauren Janovich, cousin of Joyce Bodek, Pessel Bat Anna Sara, Edna Stone, mother of Eric Stone, Adam Kaufman, Lillian Murad, mother of Tufik Murad, Adam Murad, son of Nellie and Tufik Murad, Shelley Goodman Taub, sister of Linda Rawson, Renata Gelber Greenspan, sister of Alex Gelber and sister-in-law of Linda Wolf, Francine Pack, and Stu Baker.
If you have names that you like to share in this Erev Rosh Hashanah, we invite you to do so as we go around the room. Just say the names of the people you are thinking of. Bring them in the space. You can say them out loud. Bring these names in the space. Thank you.
Come heal this body. Come heal this spirit. Come heal these people with your love. Im refuah shlema min hashamayim.
Elna refanala, Elna refanala, Elna refanala, Elna refanala, Elna refanala.
God of my fathers, God of my pray for my brothers. Come heal this body. Come heal this spirit. Come heal these people with your love. Im refuah shlema min hashamayim.
Wish to all of them, to all of you, to all of us, רפואה שלמה, החלמה מהירה, a complete and a fast recovery, and let us say,
Amen.
יתקדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביום מחון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם עולמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה לעילא ולעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמא תושבחה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן תתקבל צלות תהון ובאות תהון נאמרו בישראל קדם ובהון דברי מיה דבי שמיה דבי שמיה ויאמרו אמן יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה בחיים בחיים עלינו עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן.
I'm almost there. Not done. I hope you got time. We're in the Silicon Valley, right? Technology is our thing. Here we go. Shana Tova, everyone. in many congregations, it is customary on the evening of Rosh Hashanah for the rabbi to deliver a State of the Union of the Jewish people. On May 11, 2021, the 2020 Pew Research of American Jewry was released. The document contains 248 pages, and I would like to read them for you tonight. Well, I'm glad you understood it was a joke. But I do want to take a moment and think about the state of Judaism. There's a famous story that tells that when Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Hasidic Judaism, saw that the Jewish people were threatened by tragedy, he would go to a particular place in the forest where he lit a fire and recited a particular prayer and asked for a miracle to save the Jews from the threat. Because of the holy fire and the faithfulness of the prayer, the miracle was accomplished. Later, when the Baal Shem Tov's disciple, the Maggid of Masrich, had to intervene with heaven for the same reason, he went to the same place in the forest where he told the master of the universe that while he did not know how to light the fire, he could still recite the prayer. And again, the miracle was accomplished. Later still, Rabbi Moshe Leib of Sassov, in turn, a disciple of the Maggid of Masrich, went into the forest to save his people. I do not know how to light the fire, he pleaded with God. And I do not know the prayer, but I can find the place, and this must be sufficient. Once again, the miracle was accomplished. When it was the turn of Rabbi Israel of Rizin, he sat in his armchair, holding his head on his hands, and said to God, I am unable to light the fire. I do not know the prayer, and I cannot even find the place in the forest. All I can do is to tell the story. That must be enough. Now, while I find the symbolism of the forest and the fire to be very moving, this story is actually problematic. It is problematic because it assumes that every new generation is lesser than the previous one. It presents the story of a new generation that deals with the same challenges of the previous one, but every time does it with fewer tools and knowledge. It idealizes an irreplicable past and diminishes the present and the future. The Jewish philosopher Simon Rabidowitz explains, the world makes many images of Israel, but Israel makes only one image of itself, that of being constantly on the verge of ceasing to be, of disappearing. There was hardly a generation in the diaspora that did not consider itself the final link of Israel's chain. Each always saw before it the abyss, ready to swallow it up. There was scarcely a generation that while toiling, falling, and rising again, being uprooted and striking new roots, was not filled with the deepest anxiety. Not only, says Rabbi David, for itself, but also for the great past that was going to disappear forever, as well for the future of unborn generations. Yet, elsewhere, Ravidovix explains that, in part, the secret of continuity, of our continuity, might be that we have been in a constant war for our survival. And in his words, the world may be constantly dying, but no people was ever so incessantly dying as the people of Israel. En Hadash tachat hashemesh. There is nothing new under the sun. We still have existential fear and anxiety today. Today, we mortify ourselves with unaffiliation, lack of engagement, Jewish illiteracy, and much more. We keep idealizing an irreplicable past and often refer to younger generations derogatorily as if their existence symbolized the beginning of the end of Judaism in the United States. But is that right? Are we seeing the last link in the chain? Shall we start eulogizing Judaism? Rabbi Professor Larry Hoffman, over the pandemic, started publishing a series of posts called Open Letter to My Students. Number 35 was called Chicken Little and Our Rabbi Problem. He has some sense of humor. As usual, for Larry's writing, this letter is extremely eloquent and thought-provoking. I encourage you to Google it, find it, and read it entirely. Rabbi Hoffman refers to what he calls the doom and gloom presented in social media and discussion nowadays about the state of our people and our synagogues. While there is a lot that we need to do, in fact, we are far from this gloomy picture. He quotes from the 2020 Study of American Congregations by Faith Communities Today, FACT. Unlike the Pew Research, which is based on religious views of individuals, this study is based on actual congregations. 40% of synagogues do report declining numbers, but an equal 40% are growing. This information is particularly interesting when crossed with that of the Pew Research, which shows a growth of the Jewish population in the United States from 6.7 million in 2013 to 7.5 million in 2020. 83% of synagogues are willing to change in order to meet new challenges. This is a huge increase from only 4% in 2010. That doesn't mean we know how to change. Let's be honest here. We'll figure that out. But we did witness and experience the high level of adaptability that our congregations have in the light of the pandemic. Synagogues are actively involved in the wider community life, provide daycare programs, host other nonprofits, and open their buildings to support groups like AA. Lastly, with regard to younger members, while in 2010 only 8% of members were in the age range of 18 to 34 years old, by 2020, the number was 20%. Our congregations are still a source of spiritual support, community, rituals, outreach, and much more. Yet, the number of candidates enlisting to rabbinical seminars is declining. Why is that? Hoffman brings the story of Chicken Little. In the story, the fox convinces Chicken Little that the sky is falling in order to spread panic in the farm. Don't believe everything you hear. If we all go about forecasting the end of synagogues, we should not be surprised at failing numbers of rabbinic candidates. It is time, says Larry, this is a quote, it is time to give up the Chicken Little gullibility and become properly bullish on the synagogue future. End quote. It is time to choose a different narrative, and with that, to shift our approach to Jewish tradition. First, we should internalize that today all Jews are Jews by choice. Second, it is by choosing and owning our tradition that we become a thriving civilization, as opposed to a museum, a memorial of something that has been lost and cannot be recreated. Instead of current Judaism as the external layer that defines us, it is time to harness the power of its wisdom and let it shape us from inside. Mordechai Kaplan once said that the Jewish religion existed for the Jewish people and not the Jewish people for the Jewish religion. The Jewish religion existed for the Jewish people and not the Jewish people for the Jewish religion. The obsessive worry with Jewish preservation is probably one of its most dangerous threats. That's the formula for a dead museum-like Judaism, not a lively and dynamic one. In contrast, I believe that the lively and dynamic approach is one of the possible formulas to live a life with meaning and connection. The third most watched TED Talk of all time, with almost 60 million views, is called How Great Leaders Inspire Action. There, Simon Sinek, author and inspirational speaker, presents something called the golden circle. He explains that most people and companies know what they do. Some of them know how they do it, but only a few know why they do what they do. He says that the most successful enterprises always know why they do what they do. And so, what about us? Do we know? Have we asked ourselves why? In an age of endless possibilities and choices, why choose Judaism? I want to offer the answer that Shir Hadash has to the why question. 4 core values, pillars of our communal life. And I would also like to share a brief personal reading of these 4 core values and invite you to think about how you could use and interpret them, as I hope many of us during this time are shopping for inspirational ideas for the year to come. Number 1, spirituality. Spirituality is the search for a state of awakeness and practice that helps us connect with ourselves, with each other, and with God. It is the intentional work toward finding attention and dedication in a social environment that praises dispersion. It is also the work of holding room for hope and joy while experiencing a world that is in need of healing. Number 2, wisdom. We ask to move from a world that increasingly communicates through slogans and try to find nuance and ground in our ancient and modern wisdom. Jewish tradition encourages us to study in dialogue. We have a tradition of Hebruta, of growth in conversation. Symbolically, we don't seek to become wise teachers, but rather Talmidei Chachamim, wise students. In this amazing and constantly evolving world, we are encouraged to be lifelong learners. We are seekers. We are passionate students and expert arguers. In the study of Torah, it's important to be an arguer. We find strength, growth, and renewal. Number 3, community. Community is all of us. All of us. It is our decision to share in our lives, to show up for each other, and to create an I see you culture. It is the space that is willing to accompany us in every single stage of our lives. Being community in an individualistic society is an act of both spiritual and moral defiance. Being community is the case for our ability to build a home together with enough room to hold our commonalities and, yes, our diversity. Being community is not the search for uniformity, but rather the beautiful work of creating unity. Number 4 and last, social responsibility. The word responsibility is deeply tied to the word response. Responsibility, response. There is nothing to respond to if we are not hearing any questions. Social responsibility is our decision to challenge moral and social obliviousness and to harness the power of our community to do good. Spirituality, wisdom, community, social responsibility. Think about the power of the statement, my faith tradition encourages me to celebrate time, to dedicate time to my family, to develop a deep connection with my own soul so I can live a life close to my emotional and spiritual aspirations. It also connects me with a heritage and a collective memory and wisdom that help me be a more thoughtful person and a sensitive member of my society. No, our generation doesn't know the Baal Shem Tov's place in the forest, nor the special fire and prayer. And yes, we do know the story. And we are extremely fortunate and blessed by the stories that we hold in the collective memory of our people. But the goal of our generation is not to recreate a lost fire. It is rather to light our own, finding inspiration and wisdom in our past, and wrestling to create meaning in our present. A community committed to spirituality, to nurturing souls and celebrating sacred moments. A community committed to wisdom, to learning and growth. A community of all of us, committed to see each other and work under its tent to find unity in the diversity. And finally, a community that is willing to awaken and respond to the big questions of our society and time. This community is not disappearing. This community is elevating life with Jewish tradition. I want to pray for all of us for this year to be a year of why, a purpose-driven year, a year of stories to which we add our own, a year of spirituality and connection, a year of wisdom and growth, a year of community, of sharing and support, and a year of social responsibility, a year in which we defy our own obliviousness and respond. Shana Tova Umetuka. We'll continue our service on page 82 with Aleinu Leshabeach. Please rise as we open the ark.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהם מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אפס מלכנו, אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד.
No, ונאמר.
נאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
You may be seated. Isn't that amazing that the only thing that we can think about in the High Holiest is Avinu Malkeinu and all these melodies. They keep, well, that's actually, it's part of the work of the High Holiest. We do things that are not in our routine of prayer. And we have all these melodies in our minds and our hearts. And it's beautiful that they come about.
At this time, we take a moment to...
Turn on your microphone.
We take a moment to turn on my microphone. And now we take a moment to acknowledge those mourners in our community. So if you are in the sanctuary or live streaming or in different locations, I invite you to follow along. If you are observing a period of Shiva, the first day, 7 days of mourning, I invite you to rise at this time. If you are observing a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, I invite you to rise at this time and share the name of... If you are within the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise and share the name of that loved one at this time.
Elizabeth Ludwig.
If you are observing, thank you. If you are observing a yard site, I invite you to rise and share the name of that loved one. As a congregation, we call to mind Estelle Abrams, Spencer Canny, Arthur Cherdak, John Leveris, Marilyn Handelman, John Correa, Kay Damron, Nira Marome, Ziba Furazon, Rosella Newton, Linda Sherry, Fred DeCastro, Sherry Skian, Larry Eisen, Harry Gross, Michael Taub, David Schwartz, Rhoda Fryman, Eliad Foner Lipsitz, Ron Wolk, Adina Neer, Tamara Noten, Mimi Levy, James C. Price, Colette Kaplowitz, Rita Smith, David Korman, Jay Guadalupe Chavez, and Newt Westergren. We continue with Mourner's Kaddish on page 90. If it is your custom, I invite you to rise as well.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yeruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. B'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Allah le'ala u'laleh mikol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen.
May the source of peace and peace to those who mourn, and may the source of comforts and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say,
Amen.
Please be seated.
So it says that we say short greetings. So we will share that tomorrow morning we are starting with our family program at
Beginning at 9:20 drop-off.
and
Then 10 o'clock we start our program. What am I missing?
all your family program you want to share.
So 10 o'clock we have our Kulanu service and we have our activities. At 11:20 we have our Tot service, and then we'll join the congregation towards the end of the main service to hear the final shofar.
And to do Porepia Geffen together, we are so glad that this year, because we are here at home, this is my only experience at Shir Hadash. I don't know anything else. But what I know is that because we are here, we have the possibility to have parallel services for our children, and we are beyond excited to provide that opportunity for our families and for our children. We have two different services, and we can't wait maybe to, at some point, I can't wait to at some point join you. So if you see I disappear at some point tomorrow morning, you know where to find me. Don't worry, Andy.
And
Most of the time here.
And our services here tomorrow morning begin at 9:30. Starting around 9 o'clock, you will be able to come and enjoy some honey cake and some coffee and visit with friends prior to coming in for services.
Yes. We'll start concluding our service with the words first of Avinu Malkeinu. You can find it, the short version, on page 77.
Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Honenu v'hanenu, ki en banu maasim, aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, be'oshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu v'hanenu, ki en banu maasim, aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, be'oshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu.
Please rise. Avinu Malkeinu. We are on page 79 for Kiddush of Yom Tov. We conclude with the words of our millennial-old blessing for joy and for gathering.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol olam, v'romamanu mikol lashon, v'kiddishanu b'mitzvotav, v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava. Yom hazikaron hazeh, Yom teruah mikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta, v'otanu kiddashta mikol ha'amim. Udvarecha emet v'kayam la'ad. Baruch atah Adonai, melech al kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael, v'yom hazikaron. Amen.
I invite you to remain standing. We'd like to conclude our service with a blessing before we sing Adon Olam. Adon Aniflaot, God of wonder, who guides the world with abundant loving kindness and all creatures with mercy. God, you awaken the sleeping. Help us find vigilance, awareness, and watchfulness. And you can play a little bit of the melody of Adon Olam, so we are all together. Here we go. God, you awaken the sleeping. Help us find vigilance, awareness, and watchfulness. Awaken us to find focus and attention. Awaken us to nurture wonder and wisdom. Awaken us to community and to solidarity. Help us find healing in our lives and help us bring healing to our world that so desperately needs it. Oseh Bereshit, author of creation, awaken us to the opportunity to participate in that creation, to transform our lives and to shape our stories. Hayom Arat Haolam. Today, the universe, our world, is pregnant with opportunities. May we find the courage to harness them. Yevarechem Adonai be'ish merechem. May God bless you and protect you. Ye'er Adonai panav elechem beichunekem. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Isa Adonai panav elechem. May you feel God's presence within you always And may God bless you with its most wonderful gift, the gift of shalom. וישם לנו, וישם לכם, shalom. Adonai os le'amav iten. May God give us the courage to be builders, to be makers of peace. Adonai יברך את עמו בשלום. שנה טובה, שנה טובה ומתוקה.
Page 94.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. אדון העולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה לתפארה. והוא אחד ואין שני להמשיל לו לאחרירה. בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה. והוא אלי, וחי גואלי, בצור חבלי, בעת צרה. ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי, ביום אלחם, ביום אקרא. בידו הפתיל ברוכי, והתישן בעירה, ואם ברוכי כביאתי, אדוני לי ולא ירא. יאללה 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 אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. שמו נקרא. שנה טובה.
שנה טובה.
Done? Oh, I thought it was great. Yeah, very well structured.
No, there isn't.
Josh, like little walkie-talkie. Yeah, with the little curly hair.